Welcome back, Mother Effers. My name's DF, and on this particular installment of Shites and Giggles, I figure I'd share a few stories from the past. One of them taking place about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. The other taking place when I was much younger. I want to say when I was back in middle school. The first story is a bit more cringeworthy than the other, so I guess I'll do that one first. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal what happened, but I mean, it's not like I broke into a song and dance to just to impress some girl or some stupid shit like that. No, this one's more tame. But hey, if you find it funny, then good. So anyway, I won't mention any names specifically. I will mention one person named Drew. So I'm in excuse me. So I'm in college, right? And so throughout my years of college, I've come across this young man by the name of Drew. I had breakfast with him for like him and another classmate of mine for like a semester. Then me and him, we still see each other. We often talk. And I think one day I ran into him at the library, first floor library, and he was with two other friends of his. Now, I don't remember these people's names, and I don't actually remember their faces, and it's probably better that way. You'll find out why the more I tell the story. But yeah, so eventually I think Drew had to go off to one of his classes, therefore leaving me alone with his two pals. So one gentleman and one girl. I mean, she was kind of pretty or whatever. But yeah, so we were talking, shooting the shit. The gentleman is talking about how when Frozen was popular, he would be forced to watch it with his roommates, even though they had already seen it like a million times. And ended up saying how, like, yeah, I saw the movie once, but and I thought it was fine despite all the damn singing. But the real I guess cringy part of the story here is when me and the girl were talking. I don't remember her name. I don't even remember what she looks like. All I remember is that she had blonde hair, and she was some white girl. So now I've hinted in past videos and past live streams that I'm from New Jersey, and this university is in New Jersey. I won't say where specifically. And so this girl is also from Jersey, naturally. But so at some point, we ended up like saying where we were from, and she said that she was from somewhere. I don't even remember where really, but wherever it was considered as bad as where I'm from. Again, I won't say where, but as bad as where I'm from in terms of, I guess, crime and all the other generic factors that go into what's considered a bad place to live in. And she would bring up like various things that she and her I guess she and her friends would do growing up, which would be the same things that I grew up doing with my friends back home. And I just tried. I don't know what had gotten into me. I felt like I was trying really hard to relate to this person based on where we were from. Like, for example, one of the things she was saying was that, so one of the things we do a lot is, instead of saying that we're going somewhere, like say if you're going somewhere to eat, or if you're going somewhere to do some shopping, we don't just say like, oh, we're going to Hot Topic, or like, hey, like, no, I'm hungry, I'm gonna go to McDonald's or Pizza Hut or something like that. We always add the word "the" in that sentence. So instead of, yeah, I'm going to Hot Topic, instead we say, I'm going to the Hot Topic. Or when we're hungry, we don't just say that we're going to McDonald's. We say that we're going to the McDonald's, or the Pizza Hut, or the Papa John's. So she said that she and her friends back home had often done this. I was like, oh yeah, I totally did that, but I was sounding really, I guess, like someone who wasn't me. someone who wasn't me, who would have been watching, would have been like, wow, he's trying really hard to relate to this person, and I felt like I really was. Like the other guy sitting at the table with us, he was probably like, he stayed quiet the whole time, but he was probably thinking what I'm saying right now, because I for some reason could not get the words out properly. Like I was trying to say, what I was trying to say was like, yeah, like yeah, we say that as well. We would always say like, yeah, we're going to the Dunkin' Donuts, or we're going to the Barnes and Noble, and among other things that we had, other things we had in common in terms of our vernacular. But for some reason, all I kept saying was, yeah, 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 like the pizza place, right? I don't know why I kept saying pizza place. I think it was because I was craving pizza that day. Then again, I'm always craving pizza, so there's that. But yeah, I felt like I was trying really hard for no real reason, and I just felt stupid afterwards. Thankfully, I mean, if it's any consolation, I thankfully have not seen either of those people since then. I mean, I think I ran into the guy once, just in passing. We didn't really say anything to each other. Said, "Hey, what's up?" Do a little nod of the head, and then keep going. But thankfully, I've not seen either of those people since then. They probably still talk about me to this day. And again, I mean, I was. She probably that girl probably just thinks I'm some fucking weirdo. Anyway, story number two. So, I spent like 7 years going to my elementary school from kindergarten all the way up to sixth grade. This was like 2 years before this particular school had gotten seventh and eighth grade. At the time, there was this elementary school that I went to, which ended at sixth grade. That's when I graduated, class of 2007. And then there was a private Catholic boys' school down the street from it, which was grades 7th, 8th, and ninth. Very small school. There was only like 45 boys in there, 15 each class, or 15 each grade, I should say. But yeah, so now I won't say what my last name is. Some some of y'all who know me personally, you'll already know my last name. But there were two individuals who were with me at this school up until like fifth grade when they transferred to this middle school. Uh, I'll refer to them as OR and MR. Now, when they went to this middle school, they ran into another gentleman named RR. Now, then when I graduated this elementary school and I got to this middle school, I would like if you toss me into that equation, I'd become DFR because we all shared the same last name. So we had OR, MR, RR, and then me, DFR. So now I was already familiar with two of them. You know, I hadn't met RR before. This like me going in seventh grade was the first time I ever met RR. But now we all shared the same last name. However, those three together, MR, OR, and RR, they were generally misbehaved. I'm gonna try to be kind with my words here. They weren't very good in like conduct or class behavior. And then hey, if they ever see this, then hey, you know who you are. You know what you did. I mean, I know what I did too, but that's beside the point. Me, I was kind of like the oddball in this little quartet of ours, so to speak. So our seventh grade teacher, whose name I will say, his name was Mr. Murphy. He knew about the three R's, but then he sees this fourth R and he realizes that this fourth R, me, hey, I'm not so bad. I was generally well behaved in school, for most of school at least, and so he changed my name to, well, he didn't change my name. He just looked at me and said, "Hey, you're not quite as bad as them, but you know what? Your last name's not R anymore. Your last name is going to be Smith." And so, from that point on, to that teacher and some of my other classmates and some other teachers as well, I was occasionally referred to as D.F. Smith. One more story, I guess, to fill up a few more minutes on this video. Um, little bit more recent. It's more of a story about somebody rather than about something happening. Now, if you saw the video containing the interview I did with my former store manager Evan Stair, you'd probably pick up that I work at a Hot Topic somewhere in New Jersey. Now, a Hot Topic, I'm sure if you've ever been to a Hot Topic, you'll notice that we sell a bunch of fucking Funko Pops. They're pretty popular. I have many Funko Pops myself. I got one autographed by Bret Hart looking at me right now. But yeah, so under his management, under Evan's management, we had like we technically weren't supposed to do this, but there was a gentleman by the name of Calvin. I forget his last name, but this dude named Calvin. Now, Evan, Tristan, if you're watching this, you'll know. I think you'll know where I'm going with this. Now, just to clarify, I didn't necessarily dislike Calvin. Calvin's a cool individual if you talk to him. What I did dislike about him, I'll get to shortly. Now, Evan was a pretty lenient boss, and we had a box in the back room of just nothing but pops, nothing but our exclusive, probably most rare pops in this one box that was written Calvin in big black marker. Now, of course, that box isn't there anymore because we got a new boss, we got new managers. Excuse me, new boss, new managers, and we can't just we can't leave that back there. We can't do that. Everything has to go on the floor, so that box doesn't exist anymore. And Calvin no longer shops at our store, and you know what? That's fine. That's just fucking fine with me, because I fucking hated Calvin. I didn't. Again, I didn't dislike his personality. What I hated was that Calvin is one of those guys that he buys and then sells at higher prices. So he didn't necessarily keep his pops to collect. He kind of sold them. I guess he would keep a few but he would sell the rest. Basically, so in his box he would have like pretty much several like exclusive pops that we would get. So like I guess to make this easier, say like if we got like I don't know, if we only got like 9 of a certain exclusive pop and we only got 9 of them, the rest of them we're supposed to get more, the rest of them aren't here yet, we only got 9. He like automatically had dibs on like 5 of them or maybe 4 of them, which is kind of unfair to the customers because they're coming here and there's only like a few of them left and they're gonna be gone by the end of the day because this fucking asshole has like 4 of them sticking in his fucking box. And then when he did, the box would stay full for months at a time. When he did come around, he would only buy like maybe like a few short of a dozen, somewhere between maybe I don't know, like 6, 8, 12, 15. He wouldn't really buy that many. I mean, there were times where he bought like maybe 20 of them. Most of the time, he wouldn't buy more than 15 pops at a time. Even at this rate, the box remained full. And again, it was very unfair to the customers coming in because it's like how do they supposed to come to the store looking for this pop if 5 of them are already in this asshole's box? It was pretty absurd. I even saw many pops in there that I needed. Many pops in there that I needed, such as this page pop that I have next to my Bret Hart pop. There were none on the floor. And there was like 2 in his box. I said, nope. I took one. He had, what else did he have? He had this white and pink, I think it was like a Valentine's Day Harley Quinn pop. It was the only one. I had never seen it on the floor, and he had it in his box. So what did I do? I took that shit. I bought that shit for myself. Said, fuck no. Said, fuck no. This is mine. Fuck you doing? This is mine. And what was even worse was that he would usually show up during one of my shifts, which means I was usually on register, which means that I had to ring this motherfucker up. So like I have to sit there and awkwardly put in his Hot Topic like guest list information because I never remembered his last name. I still don't remember his last name, and then I have to awkwardly ring up each pop he had, knowing that most of them are probably going to be gone by the end of the month, which bothered me personally because I'm a collector myself. When I buy
various pops or other figures, I plan on keeping them. And if I ever had to sell them, then it's because I absolutely had to, not just because I wanted to make some extra cash. And it was just really uncomfortable. I hated ringing him up. I hated every time he came into the store because I knew that he was only going to grab like a small portion of the pops in his box, so that he could just leave and then not come back for like another few months.
If you watched, if you wasted your time watching this, then hey, thanks for wasting your time watching this. And till next time, this is it for now. See ya.